Welcome to Numina, the only place that's reverse engineered the College Board. We're going to show you how to solve these problems very quickly with mathematical precision and with 100% confidence. That means you no longer have to rely on the answer key, but purely on the power of your knowledge. The mind is a powerful tool, and we're going to show you how to use it. Here's how it's done. 23. The survey indicated that workers in the United States hope that his or her wages will keep pace with the rising cost of living. In choice A, we'll notice that the possible errors could be subject-verb or verb tense. So let's do a subject-verb check. The subject here is workers, and the verb is hope. It's not survey, because hope is part of the that clause, and workers is the subject of the that clause. So the subject verb seems to work fine. Now we're going to do a verb tense check. Remember, when we're doing tense checks, we should look for words that give us clues about whether or not the tense works. In this case, indicated will be one of those verbs. Now some of you are looking at this verb indicated and noticing that it's in the simple past tense. Well, if this is in the simple past tense, then shouldn't hope be in the simple past tense? Not necessarily. Let's take a look at our note here. That workers in the United States hope that his or her wages will keep pace with the rising cost of living is actually a factual statement, and a noun clause that serves as the object of the verb indicated. Usually the noun clause of the sentence, when functioning as an object of a verb, doesn't affect the main verb. So we're okay with hope for now, because indicated really doesn't tell us anything about how to use hope or which tense it should be. I'm going to take a look at the other verb in the sentence. Can you identify it? I'm going to look at will keep. This should actually serve as our tense clue. We usually hope for things to happen in the future, so will keep is in the simple future tense. This works because I hope I will succeed. I hope you will do well on the test. So there's no inconsistency here. I know this question looks confusing because we have indicated, which is in the simple past tense, hope, which is in the simple present tense, and will keep, which is in the simple future tense. But sentences can contain many verb tenses that are not within the same time frame and still make sense. Look for your tense clues. Your tense clues should tell you whether or not these inconsistencies in tenses make logical sense. B, his or her. His or her. In B, we want to look for pronoun errors. Does this look fishy to you?
Yeah, it actually does look fishy to me, Anthony Cincinnati.
Other than the fact that it's trying to be too politically correct?
I don't know. I'm from California, so I don't know if too politically correct exists for people like me from California. But I do see another error that revolves around grammar. We have the singular possessive pronouns his or her for wages, but I'm not convinced that this is the appropriate pronouns to refer back to our antecedent.
Tell me what the antecedent should be. I'll circle it for you.
Workers. So we have a plural antecedent here, workers, and we need to make sure that our pronoun that we want to use to replace our antecedent actually matches and agrees in number. Again, workers is plural, but we're using singular pronouns to replace workers, which is incorrect. So we need to change his or her to the plural possessive their wages, because we have workers.
It seems like you nailed this. I think there is an error in B, and we should change it to there. But just in case, or just to learn grammar, why don't we move on and then check out what possible grammar we can learn from C and D.
Sounds like a plan.
In C, we have keep pace with, and we're going to do an idiom check and a verb form check.
Oh, I love idiom checks.
Yeah, I don't usually like idioms so much because I just don't chase them.
Well, that's why I like them so much. It's less work for me.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with this idiom. So we're going to assume that this is correct. Remember, you don't have to memorize all idioms out there just because we say it's correct. Only memorize the ones that we're feeding you, as in previous clips. So this one you don't necessarily have to remember. Not certain adjectives. Sometimes adjectives can take on a variety of different prepositions. It's impossible for you to possibly memorize every single case. So only memorize those cases that the College Board focuses on. And keep pace with isn't one of them. So don't worry about this idiom.
What about the verb form there? Is keep in the proper form?
It is, because will is the helping verb.
I almost forgot about will because it wasn't underlined. But as you pointed out, I guess it's a part of the future tense.
It is. It's the simple future. Will keep. So in order for you to create the simple future tense, you need the helping verb will and the simple present form keep. The simple present form is easy to remember. It's the infinitive without the to. So the infinitive will be to keep, get rid of the to, and then latch on the will, and you get will keep, and that will create the simple future tense. So the verb form here is correct as well. Let's move on to D. In D, we're going to do a modifier and a verb form check. So let's see, rising cost of living. It seems like the modifier works here. Rising seems to function as an adjective, and rising is in the present participle verb form. So oftentimes, present participles, when they stand alone, function as adjectives, and it's doing just that here. But what if we were to change the verb form? Let's say we were to change it to the past participle. Would that work, Brian?
No, that wouldn't work at all. The risen cost of living? Well, now we have a completely different sentence here. You're talking about the cost of living that is risen from the dead. And that doesn't make sense at all in this sentence.
Yeah, I think risen wouldn't work. That doesn't seem to be the correct verb form. I think rising works much more effectively.
Yeah, keep it in the present participle form.
So we'll keep D for now. So D is also fine. So we're back to B. This is a pronoun error. There are many different types of pronoun errors that you will encounter on the test. In order for you to have a stronger grasp of this concept, where should we go? To our video library, to our archives. Look at our clips and we will explain every single grammatical concept that the College Board uses to test you in the writing section of the SAT. So how would we change this error, Brian?
Again, we would get rid of our singular possessive pronouns his or her, refer back to our plural antecedent workers, and then change our pronoun from his or her to their wages.
Great. I think that was a perfect explanation.
I do too. Thank you, Lumina.
Okay, PC California. Numina, empowering minds.